Hey, family. It's your girl Linda with the life of a fisherman wife. Today, tea time, we're going to talk about traveling hacks with kids. Because it's November 1st. We're gearing toward thinking about Christmas and vacations because the kiddo is going to be out of school in December. So we planning a trip to go see the grandparents or our parents or other family members or whomever we're going to go see. And sometimes there's a 12-hour drive in ahead of you all or a longer drive, and you got a lot of kiddos in the car with you because it's cheaper to drive. It's cheaper of a family of five to get in a car and drive than to buy a plane ticket for five people. So we're going to get into that hack today. But today we are having prickly pear cactus tea. Prickly pear cactus tea. I don't know if you can see that. There it is. I think that's in focus right there. Maybe a little backwards because I noticed that my camera do things backwards. But this tea smells so amazing. It has the most amazing smell. I hope it tastes as good as it smells, because if it tastes as good as it smells, this is amazing tea. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Ooh. Y'all, this tea tastes like candy. Ooh. I would not lie to you. Go to the store, purchase you some prickly pear cactus tea. I promise you all, this tea tastes exactly the way it smells. It is so delicious. And we're coming up to that this time of the year where it is cold outside, and here in Wisconsin, as they say, we say Wisconsin. It is very cold, and it gets snowy. So when it's snowing outside, you get you a good movie on TV. You curl up with your tea, and you sip on your tea, and all is good. I mean, your day is all made. Well, let's stop talking about that tea. Let's get into these holiday hacks. So as I say, you're traveling and you got a lot of kiddos in the car. And the first question is, by the time you get 10 minutes into the drive is, are we there yet? How much longer? Parents, if you want to keep your sanity and you want to keep the holiday on a positive spirit, play games. Make it a positive spirit, make it a positive experience for your kids. So the next time you say, hey, we get ready to go see grandmother or a cousin, whoever, and they know that this is a long drive, they are more excited than you are. Because it's a dreadful drive for us too. We don't like driving that far, but in order to get from point A to point B, we know we have to drive. So let's make it exciting for the kiddos as well as ourselves, because sometimes it can be just exciting for us as it is for the kids, especially when you see those kids are excited, and then it becomes exciting for you. So I do have a cheat sheet. I do have some games for you all that you all can play. I couldn't memorize all of them, but I got some of them memorized. One of the things that my husband and I used to do when we had a carload, because we adopted 4 kids and we had 2 of our own, and so we had 6 kids in the back of our car. So when we was traveling, we used to play games. Like, my husband is an outdoor person. If you saw a deer, dead or alive, if you found a live deer, you would receive $1. But someone else in the car have to see that live deer. You just can't say you saw that live deer and you're the only one that saw it. If someone else in the car has to verify that you saw a live deer, you get $1. And if you find a dead deer on the side of the road, that was 50 cents. So that kind of kept them quiet and looking out the window to focus on that deer to find, because then they knew that they would have money to spend after they got on that trip, which was the goal. The goal was to keep them quiet enough not to, oh, he touching me, don't look at me, don't whatever me. So that's why we decided to come up with games. Then it was license plate game. But then when all that get old and they, get bored of playing that, because every time you get in the car, we playing the same old game. And when they get tired of doing that, now is you looking at me, stop touching me, and it's when we gonna get there, all the whining begins. So when you don't want the whining to start, I'm gonna give you some games that you can play, um, to keep it more alive and active, keep it more entertaining. So you can play Who Am I? You can think of someone famous. You can ask any questions. One at a time has to answer. One at a time has to answer the question. You don't be just blurring out the answer, because then it could become a chaotic game. You don't want chaotic. And if it was me, when I play these games, I would, whatever you can afford. I would start out with $20, depending on how many kids you got. If it's less than, you always make it affordable for yourself. Always, what you're actually doing is money that you will actually spend on them anyway. You just putting it aside for them for this trip to earn the money. Instead of just giving it to them, handing it to them, you letting them earn the money. So what you're doing is you're going to put this money into a jackpot. Whatever you decide that your baseline limit is, that's what you're going to say. And so when someone win the game, you give them the money. Not right then, at your time that you choose, is you give them the money. Because see, me, I would choose the end of the trip. I'm talking about when after we arrive to the trip, that's when I would give them the money. Because when you give them the money right then and there, you can't deduct it. You can't take it back because they already have it in their hands. So if you give an answer out of turn, you get a little money deducted. I would say 25 cents deducted from your overall money to keep them in line. And don't make up rules as you go. Let your kids, before you go on a trip, let your kids help you make these rules up. See, because what I found out about kids, they try to be smart. They want to be smart. They'll come up with some really good rules because they think they're being smart, but actually they being smart against themselves, because they're giving you these really good rules, rules that you wouldn't even think of. And so yeah, then you have some really good rules to come up with. And don't ever change your rules in the middle. If you made a mistake with the rules and it's not going great, learn from your mistakes. The next trip, the rules gonna be set out. But make your rules clear. Make them so they can understand. Let them repeat these rules back to you, so that that they understand these rules. So when they break the rules, they can't say, "Well, I didn't understand." Well, baby, you repeated them back to me verbatim, and you told me your understanding of it, and it was correct. So now all of a sudden you don't understand the rules? No, that's not the way this works. We're gonna deduct some money. So it's Who Am I? You can absolutely look these games up online. They'll give you full details, because I'm not going to give you full details and make a real long video. It could be a cartoon character, it could be a famous person, it could be somebody in the car with you. You just let them know this is not a famous person, this is somebody's in the car. You can also do change it around to an animal and say, what am I? Instead of who am I, what am I? Because you're changing around to an animal. That's one game. Who am I? The alphabet game, where everybody in the car has to come up with a word that starts with an alphabet, like A, apple, and you had to come fast with it. You can't think about it. You gotta go. So that's two games for you. Bingo. It has to be prepared before the trip. This is something that you have to think about before the trip. So what you do is you get you a card and you make it out in bingo style, and you put on there maybe if you see the speed limit, if you see the next state that we're in, you check it off. If you see license plate that got this state on there, you check it off. So or you just make it a plain license plate. Put all the all the states that you think that you are passed through, their license plates. The state name that's on the license plates, and as you go, you check it off. First person who say bingo, they win that game. That's keeping them quiet because now they looking at for things. They looking for it. So it's keeping them quiet. They're earning money. They're excited because they're earning money, and they can buy something after they get on that trip. So these are all hacks that you can do when you're traveling with your kids, even the little ones. You think of some games for the little ones. Of course, you know the license plate game. Let's kick it up a notch. You're not just calling out license plates. I see Alabama. I see this. You know, a license plate has 3 letters in it. Make a phrase that started with those 3 letters. Whatever those 3 letters are, you making a phrase that will go with those 3 letters. Say for instance, it's SOS. So out. What is it? SOS. Same old, same old. Is that right? Same old same. Oh, whatever. You get it. You know what I'm saying? On the spot. So you may get something like that. That is what you're looking for. You're looking for that mind to be active, engaged, and not thinking about how long this trip is. So that's what you do. Ask questions, ask questions about that person that's in the car with you. Like your daughter, a teenage daughter that you thought you knew so well, but as time go on, she's in her own world. And you no longer know this stranger that's in the car with you because, this was your baby that you knew everything about. And they were so lovely. Now they're turned to this teenage monster. Start asking questions about her. Tell her to name 10 things, give you 10 things about her. And you totally listen. You listen. And then when she's done, you repeat those 10 things back to her. What it is getting to know them, is learning about them. Because sometimes we know when you're in a car like that, they kind of tell you things about themselves that you don't know. And parents, if they tell you some things about themselves and you're not pleased with it, don't get ballistic on them. Don't go crazy. Take a deep breath and you think about your next statement. Because once something come out of your mouth, you cannot bring it back in. And I tell you why I said this in future times. I had a moment like that, and I don't think I reacted well, but I reacted the only way I knew how. And thinking about it now, I think I would have reacted a little bit better, a little bit different. But I didn't. And you can't take it back. So we can get into that in a little bit on another tea time. And that is another good tea time that I really want to talk to parents about. It's going to hit home. It's going to hit hard, but it's going to be home. I promise you, it's going to hit home. And then you could do the memory game. Show everyone, and moms, you got this in your purse. I know you got 10 items in your purse that you can pull out your purse. And what you do is you show them 10 items. Just say a pen, a tube of lipstick, a piece of paper, a paper clip, Band-Aid, and you showing them in an order. And as you show them, you're putting them down in your lap as in the order because, our memory is not as great as it used to be. So you don't want to mess it up. So you're putting them down in order. And then you say, okay, tell me the order that I showed you these items in. And so they have to tell you which one you show first, which one you show second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. However many items you want to show. You can start off with 2 items. So their memory, but kids' memory is supposed to be sharp. I can tell you the truth. My son's memory is not that sharp anymore. He can't even tell me what he ate yesterday. I don't know what's wrong with these kids. In my memory, you remember when we didn't have cell phones, we had to memorize phone numbers. I still remember my grandparents' phone number when we was growing up. It does help that my sister took over their phone number after they passed away, and she still have their phone number to this day. But I remember my grandfather, he had 5 girls in his house. So every little boy in town wanted to text, wanted to call us. So we was giving out our phone number like it was water. Well, the phone would ring all the time. Our phone number was 887-1610. That's what our phone number was. So then this is way back, whew, in the 80s. You know, our phone number was 887-1610. I still remember that phone number to this day. And dad decided that he wanted to make our phone number private because he didn't want to give our number out. He didn't want us to give our phone number out to these little boys because, you know, our phone was ringing day in, day out. And uh, he didn't want to give it to us. He didn't even want to give us the number. And then he kind of felt like, well, he kind of found out that that was kind of silly for not giving it to us because we needed to call home. We need to tell the teacher our phone numbers. And it was real dumb for us not to know our phone number. So he ended up giving our phone number to us and end up number getting out. So he could have kept the first number. I don't know why. But anyway, we ended up finding out that our first number was given to the Steens. It was a family called the Steens that lived on the same street my mom lived on, and they ended up with that number. So I'm sure they got a lot of little boys calling their house that they didn't like. But anywho, these are my a few hacks, and I advise you to go online and look up more traveling hacks because you got to get there and you got to come back. And so then you add up the money that you want to give, you know, coming back because you're going to spend probably more money than you should while you was on this trip. So you set this money aside for the kids, or you tell them that, you know, you ain't got the money, but you don't want to tell them you ain't got the money. So you say, when we get back on whatever day, I'm going to take you to this restaurant. I'm going to take you to Monkey Joe's, wherever your kids like to do, whatever they like to go. Then you say, after we get back, and on this day, you know, if you all participate and you do well in these games, this is where we're going to go. This is what we're going to do. And if you don't, you're going to have to stay behind with dad, cousin, brother, whoever. You're going to have to stay behind with that person. So that's the way I would do that. Today is November 1st. It is Monday, November 1st. This is, like I say, this is the time right now where we are getting ready to focus on Christmas and Thanksgiving and all, you know, the holidays that's coming up. And so this whole month, I will be giving you ideas on what you can do for family members, buying gifts that would not break the bank, supporting these small business, you know, that's out here because we have a lot of small businesses that we can help out in this pandemic. Yes, it's still the pandemic, it's still out there, just not talked about as much as it was in the beginning. They're talking about how there's going to be a shortage of things, toys and everything because people are not working the way they, you know, was working. So instead of going to the store, standing in those long lines, um, exposing yourself to a lot of people, why not order from these people that I'm going to present to you throughout the month of November? And you can order something personalized for your family members that's not going to break the bank. I promise you it won't break the bank. It is good stuff. Um, so I'm going to end this for now and just look forward to my videos about um, gifts for your family members this whole month of November. And also, December is my Vlogmas. I need you all to start shooting me ideas right now about what my Vlogmas can be about because I'm going to shoot you a video every day. Maybe a 5-minute video, 2 minute, 3 minutes, however, I don't know. It's going to be a few minutes. It might not even be about Christmas, maybe something different, you know, but I will be shooting you a video throughout every day. I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't checked how many days there is in December, but how many days there are in December, you will be seeing my face every single day. Every day in December, you're going to see my face. So, as I always say, make your tomorrow better than your today. See you later, family. Oh, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so when I come knocking, you can let me in. See you later, family.